So first of all, welcome into the platform of Studio B. And if you haven't taken a practice with me, my name is Jyoti Bainey, and this is going to be an approximately 30-minute flow-inspired practice. Just a few housekeeping things. You can see I have a couple blocks here which may or may not come in handy today. So if you're someone that has either thick like books or blocks available, you might want to have those on hand. And then let's actually start. I'm going to stay seated upright so that I can talk, but if you want to start on your backs, we're going to begin there. So you can go ahead and lie back, essentially in Shavasana, legs and arms extended. And you can just let yourself really drop into an experience of rest. The first minute to 2 minutes of this practice, you're going to be in Shavasana, really just listening as I lay the framework for our practice today. And our practice today is inspired by a real life person named Koundinya, who lived in the 6th century. And he's known for making the unpopular prediction that Prince Siddhartha would eventually become the Buddha. Koundinya vowed that one day he would become one of Buddha's disciples. And just as he predicted at the age of 29, the young prince, Siddhartha, left his life of luxury. And together with Koundinya, they went into the forest to live a life of complete renunciation. They lived that way for 6 years before Siddhartha decided that complete renunciation was not his path. And so on his own, Buddha left, ultimately reached enlightenment, and came to the realization that true happiness is a balance of being in the material world and also cultivating a spiritual practice. And he came to name this the middle way. Eventually, Buddha returned to Koundinya. He shared this philosophy of balance, and Koundinya, as he predicted, became one of the disciples of Buddha, living out the middle way for the rest of his days. And so as we prepare to move into our Hatha Yoga practice today, we are going to be playing with the shape that is inspired by Koundinya, which is an arm balance, but we're going to be playing with it in all different ways, recognizing that this shape is really all about balancing effort and ease. So let's bring the soles of the feet onto the mat, bending the knees. And then lift the feet off of the mat so your knees are directly over your hips and your shins are parallel to the floor. Place your palms on your thighs and begin to press your palms into your thighs and press your thighs back up into your palms. And just take a couple, probably about 3 to 4 rounds of breath right here. So from the outside looking in, it looks like we're not doing anything. But what we are feeling is we're starting to feel this internal fire being stoked in the core. Take about 2 more breaths here, really pushing the palms into the thighs back up into the palms. And we're feeling this balance of effort and yet ease being supported by the mat. Bring the palms down alongside your body. Take a full inhale. As you exhale, reach your toes to the front of the mat and just tap your toes on the mat. Inhale, bring them back in, knees right over hips. We'll do that 4 more times. Exhale, reaching out and just tapping the toes. 3 more, again, balancing that effort and ease. So we're working, but we're also relaxing. 2 more times. Breath is smooth, reaching out and tapping. 1 more time in, reaching out and tapping. And then bringing the feet in, rocking and rolling. We're coming to down dog. So rolling up, planting the palms, stepping the feet back to your first down dog. And if it feels natural to bicycle the legs a little bit or sway the pelvis from side to side, let yourself move in any way that feels intuitive to start to open up the body. Let's take about 1 more full breath in this Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And then start to lift the head, looking forward, and walk the feet to the front of your space, finding Uttanasana, full forward bend. Placing one of your blocks in front of your left foot at either medium or low height. Place your right hand on that block, left hand on the sacrum. Bending the right knee and start to twist around to your left, maybe extending the left arm to the ceiling. What we're feeling here is we're opening up this outer seam of the left leg, which is a part of the body that will need to stretch out to access Koundinyasana. And then looking down at the mat, lowering both hands, and take about 2 breaths just sort of dangling here. If it feels natural to sway a little bit from side to side, you might bring that in. Again, everything we're doing in the practice today is we're finding that middle way where we're balancing effort and ease. Take the block, place it in front of your right foot, left hand on the block, right hand on the low back. And then deeply bend your left knee, keeping your right leg straight. Start to revolve the torso around to the right and reach the right arm to the ceiling. A couple breaths here. As you're breathing here, see if you can broaden the upper back, reaching the fingertips to the ceiling. Give yourself one more full breath in, and then exhale, let it go, and just take a couple of those relaxing breaths, folding forward. We're going to start to build our sun salutation. So bring your fingertips to your shins. Inhale, lift up halfway, tabletop spine. Exhale, fold in, step your left foot to the back of the mat. Lower your left knee down. For this first round, we're going to keep the fingertips down, just taking 2 breaths right here. If you feel like the fingertips can't quite reach the floor, that's where you might bring in the blocks, elevating the earth to you. One more inhale here. And then we'll step back to downward facing dog, right foot back to meet the left. Now listening carefully here, we're going to add in something here, a little bit different. So lift the head, look forward, and gently jump yourself through and onto your back. Reach your legs to the ceiling, arms to the ceiling, flex the wrists. We're going to do a couple arm balances on our back. Bend the knees, place them on the back of the triceps. Start to push your palms up to the ceiling, and you're in crow pose on your back. Try to lift the scapula off of the mat. One more inhale here. Exhale, lengthen the legs to the ceiling, arms overhead. Give yourself one full breath to rest in between. And then we're going to revolve our crow on our back. So bend the knees once more, palms to the ceiling. But this time when you push up, twist slightly to the left. So the right elbow is outside that left knee. So it's like you're in a revolved crow pose. That's it. So we're feeling that core contract. One more inhale, maybe lift that left shoulder blade a little bit more. And then extend legs and arms. Take a full inhale in. Exhale out. One more time, second side, bend the knees, arms to ceiling. This time as you press the palms to the ceiling, you're moving diagonally to the right, as if you were in Parshvabhakasana, but we've just flipped it onto our backs. One more full breath here. Exhale, legs to ceiling, arms overhead, cross the ankles, roll through, and step back to downward facing dog. Now we'll take our vinyasa. Inhale forward to plank. Lower the knees to the mat, half plank. Lower through half chaturanga. Inhale, lift upward facing dog. Exhale, press back downward facing dog. Keeping that flow going, step the left foot to the front of the mat, right knee melts down. We've got about 2 to 3 breaths here in this low lunge, opening up the front of the pelvis. So we're working, but we're also finding some ease in the body. And then big step forward, right foot comes to meet the left, fold in. And then coming all the way to stand, circle sweep those arms out and up. And bring the palms of the hands together. 2 more rounds of sun salutations. Inhale, lengthen those arms, stand tall. Exhale, bring the palms of the hands together. Inhale, reaching forward, up and back. Exhale, folding over the legs. This time, step the right foot to the back of the mat, right knee down. You could keep the fingertips down or on blocks. Option to sweep them up to the ceiling. 3 breaths here. If you're someone that enjoys back bending, you could let the thumb side of the arms float back, heart to lift up, and invite a little bit of a back bend in your lunge. And then stepping back to down dog, hands down, left foot back to meet the right. And once again, we're going to jump through to our backs to work with arm balances on the back. Legs to the ceiling, arms to the ceiling. Listening carefully, lower your right leg, hovering it just over the floor. Push the palms to the ceiling. Take that left leg and try to lift it towards the back of your mat. So you're in splits on your back. This is Koundinyasana. We're just on our backs. And then legs to ceiling, arms overhead. Take a breath and rest. Second side, left leg hovers over the mat. Arms to ceiling, push the palms to the ceiling, lifting the shoulder blades off the mat. Feel the core contracting. Lift that right leg overhead. One more inhale. Exhale, cross those ankles. Rock and roll. Step back, downward facing dog, and we'll flow it out. Inhale forward to your plank. Exhale, either half or full chaturanga. Inhale, either cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll close out this sequence. Look forward, right foot forward, left knee down. Fingertips could stay down or arms could sweep up. So having faith in our abilities, trusting that we know where our work is. So maybe you don't do the same expression of the pose that someone else in this practice is doing. That's okay. You're honoring where you are in the practice. Lower the hands, step the left foot forward, forward fold. And then circle sweep the arms out, up and back. Palms together. One more round. Inhale, lengthen those arms. Keeping that flow element, palms together. Feeling the feet imprinting on the mat as you reach up and find a back bend. Long spine as you fold forward. Left foot to the back of the mat. Now you could lower the knee or you could keep it lifted. Fingertips could stay down or reach them up to the ceiling. You're in a high crescent lunge. So many different places you could be here, all equally valid. You're just deciding, where can I work and also rest? Lower the hands to the mat, step it back, downward facing dog. Last time to work with arm balances on the back, jump through, legs to ceiling, arms to ceiling. This time we're going to twist that Koundinyasana shape. Right leg towards the floor, just hovering. This time, as you press the palms to the ceiling, you're moving slightly diagonally to the left. So you've got that twisting action. That's it. Yes. One more full inhale. Feel that core working. Legs and arms to ceiling. Take a breath. Give yourself the pause. Second side, left leg hovers. Arms to ceiling. As you push the palms to the ceiling, revolve slightly to the right. Full breath here. And then crossing those ankles, flowing back, downward facing dog. Moving through Vinyasa, shift it forward. Chaturanga, cobra or up dog, downward facing. Left foot stepping forward. Choosing if you want a low lunge or to keep it high. Fingers could stay down or sweep up. Noticing the breath. Do we need to maybe focus on the exhale a little bit? Keeping it smooth and easeful. And then hands to the mat, step it forward, folding in. Circle sweep the arms out, up and back. Palms together. Take a moment, lengthen the arms alongside your body, close your eyes, just about 3 breaths here. We've finished up our sun salutations. We're about to move into a longer standing sequence. So just noticing, how can I cultivate that middle way here? How can I make sure that even when I'm working, I'm also leaving some space for some ease? Blinking open the eyes. Bring the palms of the hands together. Here we go. We're going to move through this together. So let's take the left leg back, point the toes so your toenails are on the floor. And we're going to move into Warrior 3, but keep the hands at the heart the whole time. Hinging at the fulcrum of the hips, start to lower the torso and lift the leg in equal measure. Listen carefully here. Keep your torso where it is. As you exhale, lower your left leg and tap your left toes behind your right Achilles. Inhale, lift the leg back up. So we're strengthening the hamstring and glute. Lower and tap. 2 more. Inhale, lift. You're going to need that for Koundinyasana. Lower and tap. Last time we'll hold for 2. Lift. How's that breath? Maybe invite a little smile on your face. Step back. Lower that left heel. Warrior 1.5. Inhale, reach those arms up. So my torso's facing the front left corner of my mat. Humble warrior. Either place hands on the low back, hold opposite elbows, or interlace the fingers. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, drop the head. Right shoulder is inside that right knee. Humble warrior. Smooth, full breath here. As we start to build towards Koundinyasana, we need that relationship between the right shoulder and the right knee. Everyone shifting to lizard, release your hands to the mat, pivot onto the ball of the left foot, lower your left knee, take a couple breaths to open that left quadricep. Some of you might have this space to lower to the forearms. So if this is too much to come to that low, just stay up on the palms. It's a perfectly good place to be. Having faith in your abilities. And then walking the palms back up. We're going to move towards Ekapada Koundinyasana 1, the first arm balance named after Koundinya. I'm going to give you multiple stopping points along the way. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee. This is stopping point number 1. You could stay here and breathe. Stopping point number 2, take your right hand, thread it to the outside of your right foot, and snuggle your right shoulder behind your right calf. This is stopping point number 2. Stopping point number 3, start to straighten your right leg, bend your left elbow, and rest the left side of your rib cage on there. This is 3. 4, lean forward, lift your left leg, fly. 2. 1. Wherever you are, come back to lizard. Walk the right foot in. Whew, how'd that go? Step that left foot forward and lower to a squat. Take a moment, bring the palms to the heart. Find your breath. And then palms to the mat. Stand up Uttanasana. Step your left foot back about 3.5 to 4 feet and plant it at a 45-degree angle. Revolve triangle. I'm going to use a block for this outside my right foot. Left hand to block, right hand to sacrum. Start to twist. Revolve to your right. Reach the right arm to the ceiling. Now this particular pose is essentially the shape that we're about to make on our hands. So this is the blueprint for it. One more inhale. Exhale, look down, lower the right hand, return to that squat, down. Now I'm going to turn. Actually, I'm not going to face you. I think you can see my legs quite well here. So option 1 is to balance in this squat. Maybe this is enough for you today. Option 2, twist to your right, left elbow outside your right thigh. Plant your palms on the mat. And then you're going to move into side crow, planting the palms. Phase 3, coming forward with the chin. Hands land on the back of the right thigh. Lift up. Final stage, right leg to the side. Left leg behind you. Splitting Koundinyasana. One more breath. And then reversing the steps. Coming down. Find your Uttanasana. Front of the mat. This is a resting pose. Soften your knees. Let your belly rest on your thighs. Maybe open the mouth to let out any excess heat. And here's the good news. If you're struggling to do these shapes with effort and ease, the good news is it took Buddha and Koundinya years to discover the middle way. A whole lot longer than just one yoga practice. Let's start to bend the knees, lengthen out through the spine, rising up. And bringing those palms together. We'll take that sequence on the second side. You're doing amazing. Take the right leg back, point the foot. And then warrior three, hinging at the fulcrum of the hips. Lowering torso, lifting leg. Inhale here. Exhale, lower just the leg. Tap the right toes behind the left Achilles. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, control, lower and tap. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, hold for 2. Feel that strength. That's what you need to lift that leg in both of those Ekapada Koundinyasana. Now we're going to step the right foot to the back of the mat. And we're going to open up to warrior 1.5. So it's like right in between warrior 1 and warrior 2. Hands going to come to the low back, either resting there, hold opposite elbows, or interlace the fingers. Inhale fully. Exhale, find your humble warrior. Now, why would we do this shape in this practice? Well, this is developing that awareness of the relationship between the shoulder and the knee. And then coming into lizard, both hands inside the left foot, pivot onto the ball of the right, lower the left knee, and we get a little bit of rest here. This is just about opening, creating space in the body. Maybe you come to the forearms. The thing about these shapes that are named after Koundinya is they emphasize leverage as much as they do strength. It's just as much about balance as it is about effort. Come back up onto the palms. Beautiful. 4 stages that you could stop in. Stage 1, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee. You could work right here. Stage 2, take that left hand, wrap it on the outside of the left foot, snuggle the knee behind the calf. Stage 3, straighten your left leg, right elbow bends to right rib cage. Stage 4, lift the right leg. 2, 1. Come back to your lizard, wherever you were. Step forward, find a squat. Palms to heart. Take a full breath. And then we'll build that revolved triangle. Hands down, lift the hips. I'm going to have my block handy. Step my right foot back about 3.5 to 4 feet. Plant the right heel. Right hand to block. Left hand to low back. Start to revolve and twist to your left. Left arm to ceiling. And recognizing you're already doing 90% of the Ekapada Koundinyasana shape by doing this pose. All we got to do is take it and put it on our hands. And so then look down, lower left hand, lower back into that squat. And again, maybe you don't do the full pose today. Every pose has phases. So phase 1, you might just work on twisting in this squat. Getting that right elbow outside the left thigh. Stage 2, you might plant the palms and start to experiment. What is it like to put weight on my hands? Maybe you can find a side crow here. And then the final stage, if you have stability in the arm balance, is to start to straighten the legs in that twisted split. Full breath. And then slowly coming out. We'll walk our way back to downward facing dog. Give yourself a full in-breath in, and then open the mouth, sigh it out. Do that one more time. Inhale fully. Exhale. Drop the knees to the mat. Sit back to hero's pose, taking a really simple twist here. Drop your right hip to the floor. So just let your right hip fall to the floor. Sweep those arms out and up. And then left hand to right knee, right arm behind you, Bharadvajasana, simple spinal twist. What I like about this spinal twist is it's open. The abdomen is not compressed. So the breath can feel really free here. And then looking forward, unwinding, and just pick up the pelvis and move to the other side. Left hip down, circle sweep those arms out and up. Right hand to left knee, left arm behind you, Bharadvajasana. Starting to really down-regulate the energy. And then looking forward, extending the legs, and we'll close our practice exactly how we started it, which is on your backs in Shavasana. I'm going to stay up so that I can speak to you, but as you lie back, extending your legs and your arms, recognizing that when we realize that true happiness comes from balancing effort and ease, where we find that ability to be engaged with the world, trying to improve it, and yet also connected to our own inner peace. That's when we've really learned the lesson from the Sage Koundinya. Giving yourself about 3 to 4 more breaths to just let the body be completely at ease. And then as you're ready, lengthening the arms overhead, taking a full body stretch. And in your own way and in your own time, coming back up to a comfortable seat. And before we rush off and close the practice, just sitting for a moment and just noticing in the spirit of the middle way. And we typically focus on the action parts of the breath, the inhale and the exhale. And so maybe noticing that space in the middle, that space at the top of the inhale when you're full of breath, that space at the bottom of the exhale where you're empty of breath. And perhaps just giving yourself permission for the next few seconds to just spend a little bit more time in the middle space. And then bringing the palms of the hands together, we'll seal this practice. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. And may that light of truth overcome all darkness. Victory to that light. Jai Shri Satguru Maharaj Ki.